Back in 2016, Juan Manuel Marquez was asked by Ring Magazine, who were the best fighters you fought? Who had the best footwork? Who was the hardest puncher? Who was the quickest? Yada yada yada. Marquez's last fight was in 2014 against Mike Alvarado. So I doubt his opinions have changed much on this subject. Now, the vast majority of his picks in these categories go to Manny Pacquiao, including best overall fighter. Now, I can't argue with that. Over the 42 rounds they shared, Manny Pacquiao was sensational. And the whole quadrilogy is just a must pick if I were to recommend anything to any new fan who wanted to get stuck into a great rivalry. I would say, after Ali Frazier and some other things, I'd be like, check out Pacquiao Marquez. Highly competitive, a brilliant clash of styles. Just awesome. Then we look at some other categories. Pacquiao also wins fastest. Okay, that's obvious. Best puncher. Okay. Manny Pacquiao floored Marquez a handful of times, as well as buzzing him on several occasions with both the left and the right. It was actually with the right hand that Pacquiao hurt Marquez with more in that fateful fourth fight. But then we get to best skills, and we have the very odd pick of Juan Diaz. Marquez, I believe, fought Juan Diaz back in 2009. He went up another weight, and it was a very compelling, very entertaining fight where Diaz started strong, but he did so in his very workmanlike, very meat and potatoes, basic style of fighting, of just trying to get close and put the pressure on you. There's no Chris John in this list, who beat Marquez back in 2006 at featherweight. But the real kicker is that when it comes to naming best defense, he picks Manny Pacquiao as well. Now, I'm not saying Manny Pacquiao had a bad defense, but when you fought Floyd Mayweather, probably in the top 5 best defensive fighters of all time, and he's just not in any category, it's a little bit much. Mayweather was so hard to hit, even when he chose to be a little bit more aggressive. In around the early to mid noughties, there was pressure on Mayweather to try and be a bit more exciting before he had boxing by the bollocks and he could just dictate and take the last round off and all that good stuff. He had to try and be a bit more entertaining, like against DeMarcus Corley, I think back in 2004. But still, even when he held his feet more, it was so difficult to hit. His picks, I think, are driven very much by ego, which is essential in all fighters. You have got to believe in yourself to an extent that you will go through the opponent no matter the problems that you face. And Marquez was very much that kind of fighter. A healthy ego is very useful in the ring because it just rubbishes the idea of defeat. And if you're hurt, in your heart, you say no, you get up and you continue with single-mindedness. But when it comes to just giving your opinion outside in the public, an ego can make you sound a little bit silly. It reminds me of Roberto Duran, old Manos de Piedra. He was asked a similar question a few years ago, and there was no Thomas Hearns. Nothing about him regarding hardest puncher. Did Thomas Hearns hit Duran so hard in that second round that he just forgot about it? Because Duran was the guy, Thomas Hearns was the guy who dealt with Duran easier than any other opponent. It definitely seems like there's a bit of ego involved when it comes to Marquez, not even mentioning Floyd Mayweather. He got beat by Mayweather about 12 rounds to nothing. Didn't he? Did even Marquez win one round? I don't think so. What do you think of his picks? Again, no Chris John, who beat him in 2006 at featherweight. Nothing to do with skills. and no Floyd Mayweather at all. Some have said because Marquez was more of a lightweight and Mayweather was a naturally bigger man, he looks at the fact Mayweather just held natural physical advantages and therefore kind of discounts it. I don't know if that was the rationale. People might be trying to make excuses for him. Do you think Marquez is just not trying to give Mayweather any credit at all? Or is Manny Pacquiao just the best in just about every category?